everybody, hi, this is Fray from Motherwise, and just going live for a few minutes, and we're going to be talking about today really sort of what the difference is between non-hospital and hospital birthing. On this time of coronavirus, never have there been so many mums thinking about having a home birth or a birth centre birth rather than being in a secondary care hospital facility. So I just wanted to explain a little bit about those differences. Now, obviously, the research varies depending on the particular piece of research that you're looking at, but I want to give you a general sort of overview. So, and what we're talking about is healthy, normal woman with healthy, normal pregnancies carrying a healthy, normal fetus. Okay, so that's important. That's what these statistics are based on. And we're also talking about women who are obviously at term. So this is not a preterm labour with a premature baby on board. So once a woman gets beyond 37 weeks, so anywhere between 37 weeks and 42 weeks, is a fully term baby. That's not early and that's not late. Even though you will hear women talk about, oh, my baby was 3 days early or 4 days late or something, that's not actually really true. So anything from 37 to 42 weeks is absolutely normal. Before 37 weeks is early, and after 42 weeks is late. And we are talking about also women who are spontaneously going into natural labour. So we're not talking about women who are having inductions, because inductions always need to be done in a secondary care facility, like a tertiary hospital, etc. Okay, so to give you an idea of some statistics, with healthy normal woman, healthy normal babies, fully term, spontaneous natural labour as the commencement, if they birth in a birth centre versus if they birth in a hospital, in general terms, the women are about 4 times less likely to have an emergency C-section. They are about 1.5 times less likely to hemorrhage. They are about 5 times less likely for the mother to be admitted into HDU, which is the high dependency unit, or ICU, intensive care unit, or the operating theatre. Their baby is about 3 times less likely to have low APGAR scores, which is the scores that we give a baby when they are 1 minute and 5 minutes of age. That sort of tells us how well they are doing at that time. And the baby is about half as likely to need admission into NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, also sometimes called SCIBU, which is the special care babies unit. So those are huge differences. So we're talking about, as I say, women who have gone into spontaneous natural labour, fully term, with a healthy normal baby. Absolutely massive differences. Now, what is about women who do home births instead of a birth centre births? Well, the main difference there statistically is only for women who are having a first birth. Gosh, I wonder if you can hear that. That's heavy rain. Yes, so women having a first birth, it might even be hail. Wow. Sorry, a bit of a distraction. So women having a first birth, they can have a slightly higher risk of their baby having some lower APGAR scores. Now, basically, so everything else is the same for a second or subsequent baby, but for a first, no difference to the mother's outcome, but a slight difference to the baby's outcome. Now, I suspect that the reason for that is something called a CPAP, which is a expensive piece of equipment that we can use with babies when they've got a little bit of respiratory distress after they've been born, usually because their lungs are a little bit wet. So they need the CPAP can be very useful for helping to dry out those lungs, and most midwives don't carry a CPAP in their boot as part of home birth equipment. So that's probably, look, it's an educated guess that is the difference between a birth centre or a home birth, because basically everything else, all the other pieces of equipment are practically identical. And then the other question is why? Why are the statistics so much better for these healthy term women going into labour? Well, the theory on that one is that when you're at home or when you're at a birth centre, you cannot access an epidural. And when you don't access an epidural, well, you keep your labour normal, which keeps the birth normal. Epidurals have consequences, and they take that labour from low risk to high risk, which is why one of the things that women need during an epidural is to have continuous CTG monitoring of the straps around their belly, so we know that baby doesn't go into fetal distress. So that's another little complicated topic on its own, which we'll talk about another day. But I wanted to, so that's all for today. I just wanted to give you that little comparison so that you can start to realize how important it is, especially with the first, to get engaged into understanding and learning about natural labour and normal birth. So look, I wish everybody a wonderful rest of their day, and I will be recording a much longer version of this information, which goes to our Motherwise Master Club subscribers. So those are women who have chosen to often get our Essential Basics program, and they get access to all my full length webinars. And I'll add a link actually to this webinar on the comment section that shows you how you can learn a little bit more about that support program, which is very inexpensive. So I wish you all a wonderful week. Bye everybody.